Don't hurt me no more. But actually, what up? So man, Rico the opinionist. Please continue to like, share, and subscribe. I am back. What is this? July 20th? I know it's been a minute. This is my last live here on YouTube, and I will continue to pay attention to my subscribers that I do have. I won't leave you again for this long again. I swear this time. I know I keep saying that. And I end up staying away for about 2, 3 weeks, but I'm not gonna do it again. I swear, because a lot to talk about. But look, please continue to like, share, and subscribe. And I know I've been dealing with allergies. I'm done with the sneezing, but the redness and the itchy eyes and stuff. Man, you can only take so many Benadryls, so got to wake up sometime. So y'all, yeah, I don't know if you've been, in case you've been living under a rock. What happened last week? The attempted deletion or unaliving of presidential candidate today, November 5th. I just want to see if he's still going to be on the ballot. I didn't get into all of the conspiracy theories. That's fake. Blood. That's not real blood. I didn't get into any of that because unnecessary. This is not my first election. It's not your first election either for president. But while we are here fooling around on talking about who's going to be president, please pay attention to your local elections. That is what really kicks us in the ass. These low politics. Your city council, your county commissioner, your state representatives. See, your state is what really puts a boot up your behind if you're not paying attention. So let's not just put all our eggs in one basket. That is who's going to be the president. But we definitely know that we need a new president. How about that? We definitely need a new president. Man, 'cause this shit is crazy. But anyway, and you know the big deal this year is, you know, people trying to get the black vote. Let me go back to the old attempt of the unaliving of former president. Uh, Again, what I do is I do like you do. I listen to many perspectives. I try to gather as much news as I can from varying sources. I watch Fox News, let's call it SDNC, uh, uh, Country News Network, or Caucasian News Network, CNN. I watch. I go to YouTube, listen to some of the YouTube bloggers and vloggers. I listen to actives from all over the place. I go. Maybe if there's something in the shade room, on Twitter, on TikTok, I go all over. And so I decided, well, you know, I don't really need to comment on it because people have said everything plus some. And so I like, you know, that's not my thing. I remember when I was a little kid, there was an assassination attempt on the life of Ronald Reagan. I saw that on the news. Y'all can go back and check that video out. Ronald Reagan, they held his Secret Services around him. I think, what was this, 1980, 81? I think he had just gotten elected to his second term or something. No, it's his first term. Because he came out in 84 because Mundell and somebody else was running at 84. I think Bush won that first in 84. But anyway, yeah, I was like in elementary school. When, matter of fact, I was in the 6th grade when Reagan got shot. And see, that also takes me back to who my teacher was in the 5th grade. First, her name was Elizabeth Kaminsky. She left our school. She was a young white lady, but she was very nice, very liberal white lady, really nice. And she didn't stay with us long. She stayed like half of the semester, yeah. And when I was in the 5th grade at Kingsbury Elementary School. They're in Mitchell Heights, there in North Memphis, in the 38108 zip code, something like that. And so when she left, we got this mean old battle axe white woman, just mean. Her name was Virginia Mosley. She's dead and gone now because she was an old bitch then. Just mean, almost like the witch and the Wizard of Oz. almost like a Miss Daisy before The Color Purple, just a mean old white lady. And I remember, you know, it was me and no, I don't remember all their names, but but we were in class, and all the black kids were talking about it, and she eavesdropped on our conversation. We were like, yeah, you know, someone was saying, yeah, we glad that he got, blah blah blah. I didn't say that, I was just listening. But it was, a couple of students were very boisterous, and so she came over to our group in the classroom. It was like mixed, had some black kids, white kids, and others. But we were like in our little group, and so Virginia Mosley walked up, bad built ass, wop body, boo bam, the boom bam, boom, boot asshole, with a purse, the meanest old white lady voice. What are you children talking about? And and so they're like, what you mean? We were just talking, little kids. We were like 10 years old. And she stood, but she was standing over my desk. My desk was like in the front row there. She was standing over my desk, and a young lady, my classmate, her last name was Halliburton. And she said, well, we didn't care if he got shot because he said when he won, if he's gonna win, he's gonna send all black people back to Africa. That was the innocence of the kids. And that lady took a deep breath. Now she's standing in front of me now. I have her in my book. In the second one, not in this first one. She stood over me, Virginia Mosley, rest in peace. She said, baloney, how dare you? That man has a wife and has children, has a family, and I'm standing there like, whoa, this bitch just spat all in my face. I'm a little kid, as the older folks would say, I was mortified. Couldn't believe it. Yeah, she was terrible. And we really missed Miss Elizabeth Kaminsky. And she was a young lady, really fun, and, like kids of all races. Then we got this old bitch that came in and took her place with her old Southern charm and with a Southern intolerance, and did that, and that stuck with me for a long time. I'm like, wow, this broad just spit in my damn face. And so that was during when Ronald Reagan, there was an assassination attempt on his life. And so as we move on, so I said all that to say I'm not unfamiliar with those kind of shenanigans that go on in the news or in this country. I happen to be old enough to see one on the news. And I know this is probably something new for this generation of people and young adults and kids and stuff. So they'll have that story and all the fallout that came behind that. So I didn't really waste any words, get into that, because everybody was in their fields and all these conspiracies and all of this. And some people even went so far as to say, and I'm reading Facebook now, wow, he missed, damn. I mean, just saying all kinds of just shit. And there's a couple of Democrats, black, actually fired from their jobs for tweeting that stupid shit. I'm like, wow, y'all really believe that everybody hates Trump or dislike Trump? This is a whole country of like close to 300 million people. You think that you saying that, you were really speaking to a crowd big enough that'll let you get away with saying some stupid shit like that? That's the arrogance. There's the arrogance and the egotism of Democrats. The arrogance. And also, you're talking about an echo chamber. They say stuff and really believe that they be on point when they say some weird stuff. So they were tweeting all this stuff out, and one by one, they're losing their jobs. Regardless of what you think about the fella, he's still protected by the Secret Service, and he's a former president who's now a current political candidate to try to run for office again, and his chances look really good. So y'all kind of cool it. For those of you who want to keep your jobs. Because even your boss may have a problem with Trump, but he ain't finna lose his job fooling with you. He'll get rid of all his employees that say some stupid stuff. You gonna tweet it? Oh yeah, so she's out of it. I think the latest one, she worked for Benny Thompson out of Mississippi. Got rid of her ass. And so she lost her job for nothing. So I didn't really get involved in all of that. And so he has the right to run like everybody else. I don't understand the arrogance, the nerve of people because you don't like him. He doesn't deserve to run for an office. And by the way, you can say, well, he's a convicted felon. He's running for office. He didn't have those felonies when he filed to run, God damn it. He wasn't convicted. His record was clean. He was eligible. So what y'all want to happen is, well, you see, he got convicted, but he ain't been sentenced to anything. He got convicted, so he should be taken out of the race. No, you're not gonna get an easy win like that, Democrats. Y'all gonna have to work. And what's so awful about this is that the Democratic Party has such little respect for the black voters that all they do is use fear tactics. Now, I'm an independent, so I get to look at both sides. I'm not saying the Republican Party is a better party or anything like that. I'm just telling you what I observed. And what I know is, as a voter, you're supposed to be able to get something from all of the parties. And for those of you who think it's just a two-party system, it's not really just a two-party system. You also have what's called a third party, which is independent. You got libertarians and what else? All these Green Party. It's a lot of parties, but in this country, we don't want to promote those because they still want to have domination or dominance with these two parties. And by the way, a two-party system is so antiquated. Other countries that's supposed to be less developed than us, they go off the popular vote. So what is it about our country that is so fearful of the popular vote? I think let me tell y'all real quick. The Electoral College needs to be abolished. And also, lifetime appointments of these judges and especially the Supreme Court judges needs to be abolished. Everybody should be forced to run for the office every 2 years, every 4 years. I don't like the fact that an attorney general gets to be in office for 7 years. I don't like the fact that a U.S. senator gets to hold his seat, I think, about 6 years. Everybody should do 2 and 4 years, and that's where the politics really play, but to the benefit of the people. That does make sense, because all this other stuff, these are ways in which you can continue control, and I don't like that. Because hell, you get an awful person in office, and they've been given an appointment for life on the Supreme Court. That's the stuff we need to be paying attention to, other than someone's damn personality. What are their politics? And so that's the thing I'd like to join someone on. What can we do? What mechanisms can we go through to make sure there's no longer a permanent appointment to any judge seat, or attorney generals and senators need to be dropped down to 2 years. I'll say 3 years, and congressmen get to do 2 years. See, it helps to recycle ideas. It helps to recycle, and also it prevents this block control. That's what we need to be talking about. We always talk about, we need to unify. Well, let's unify on getting the country back where it benefits everybody. And also make these people spend their money on that popular vote. And yeah, you have to restructure everything, but the voting machines, they seem to work all right. And everybody gets to have a party, a political party that's recognized. You got the Democrats, you got the Republicans, you have what's called third party, you got the Libertarians, you got the Green Party, you got everybody. You can have the Uhuru Party, everybody gets to party. And you work it like that. That makes sense? Yeah, because this foolishness has to stop. And so the president really has to be the president of all the people. The governor really has to be the governor of all the people in their state, not just the Democrats who voted him in or the Republicans who voted him in. When they make policy, they have to keep everybody in mind. That makes sense? So I know the title of this says, "The Democrats are desperate and pitiful." See, let me tell you something about, and I guess this, let me tell y'all something about these lame ass Democrats. And I'm talking about them because as a black man, a foundational black American, I look at the numbers. And black people vote at least on average 93 to 96% in every election for the Democrats. That's why I'm always on their ass. And then some people love to say, well, what do you think the Republicans gonna do? What you think the Republicans gonna, what you think they've done for black people? First of all, there shouldn't be an expectation of someone you don't vote for. Black people don't vote for Republicans. They vote Democrat. That makes sense now? So stop asking those stupid ass questions. And next, you have to understand, hold on a second. Well, y'all gonna go across the street here, so I won't get hit by a car. Hold on, y'all. We go across. All right. Get closer to the. It feels so good out here. So anyway, so stop asking people, if he's black, he decides to do something different, why? What the Republicans gonna do? It's black. We as blacks, we vote overwhelmingly for Democrats, so we're supposed to have an expectation. We're supposed to have an expectation of reciprocity from the Democratic Party. And anyone who's really thinking with their minds open will see that Democratic Party really hadn't done a goddamn thing for black people. Every year, if you vote for other parties, you vote Republican, you vote third party, pay attention to how, y'all know, but I'm just gonna challenge you. Pay attention to how Democrats handle black voters. First of all, they never address young black voters per se. They always go to the old ones, because the old ones are already set in their ways. They don't address the more, not the progressive as an LGBT, you want to see immigrants flood the country progressive, but those of us who are kind of, very aware of what's needed in our community, they don't come to us, and they certainly don't come to heterosexual masculine black men unless they're affiliated, let's say, with a Greek letter fraternity or sorority, or they're like boule, like the upper class blacks. They don't come from average blacks unless they're already convinced that they already, have drunk the Jim Jones Democratic Kool-Aid. But those of us who appear to be asking too many questions, they avoid us. They don't come on our YouTube channels. They don't come into town hall meetings where people like me are. They go to the old blacks who are already on their way to heaven. And those who've convinced their sons and daughters, this is the way to go because you black. You're supposed to be Democrat. Let me know if the wind is getting too rough. When I crossed the street, I got closer to the water. So every year, their strategy is to try to scare black voters into voting Democrat. And so what they do is they make the boogeyman out of everybody a Democrat is running against. Y'all ever pick that up? If he's a Republican, he or she is automatically the boogeyman. And a lot of them are. That damn Marsha Blackburn, and Marjorie Taylor Greene, Mitch McConnell, that other, what's that zesty one? Oh, man. Y'all know the list. But they try to get us not to pay attention to that horrible Maxine Waters or that Nancy Pelosi and all of those awful people and others. These black Democrats who are congressmen and congresswomen and no, not too many Democratic senators. Yeah, they're there. But y'all know what I'm talking about. State and local. They act as if they are just so innocent, but they're the ones who are doing the worst. Malcolm X said it best. It's between the sheep and the wolf. Oh, what is the wolf and the sheep? The fox and the wolf. The wolf is looked at as the Republican Party. He come in showing his teeth. He say, "Hey, I want to eat some meat. I want to row." He want to get hold to you. The fox come in with that, "I'm your friend." But as soon as you turn your back, he walks out of the hen house with chicken feathers all over his mouth. That's the Democratic Party to people. And so many of us is bought into that fox fuzzy tail and see its sharp teeth. And that's what keeps black people behind. Their Democratic parties don't do anything to really move black people forward. When, again, not just black people, everybody should be looking at each party for some type of economic policy that moves their community forward. Every other group seems to do that except for my community, my race in this country. The only way they get to talking about economics is when they move over to another party. Y'all never thought about that? It's the most amazing thing to witness. Anytime you hear somebody black talk about economics, that black person is usually turned into a Republican or another. But a black Democrat, they never talk about economics. They never even engage the Democratic politician into a conversation about economic policy. They never do it. And that's the way the Democrats been used to having it, their way. They've been able to eat their political pie, cake. They've been able to have their political cake and eat it too. But things are changing. A lot of people are waking up. Shout out to social media. People are waking up to the foolishness. And they're not taking it anymore. And they're running scared. And just like any other movement, it's usually the men that started. And what has happened is the men have started the exodus from the Democratic Party. Black men have. And our punishment is to be attacked by the Democratic Party for leaving the Democratic plantation. That's been our, I guess, hold on a second. Yeah. That's been our, I guess, that's been a consequence for us for saying, no, we're not doing that anymore. We have more questions and we want more tangibles. We actually want tangibles from the Democratic Party, and they just don't give it to us. Not straight black men. And they certainly don't give a shit about black boys. Unless the only time you hear Democratic Party talking about black boys or black men is with some kind of policy on criminal justice or how more of us can get locked up. And by the way, I'm not talking as if the Republican Party gives a shit about even if we're breathing. But that's not what we're talking about. We already know about them. We've been told about them forever. For the past 60 years, we've been told how the Republican Party is the boogeyman. But we're now learning, and more men, black men, are waking up to know that the Democratic Party is the other boogeyman. But the women are fine with it because it's the women that they empower. It's the women and it's the gays that they empower in the Democratic Party. Y'all saw the policy. Oh yeah, and Asians and Hispanics and illegal immigrants and regular immigrants. They empower everybody else, and they don't vote at the same numbers that black people do. Go look it up. Asians don't hardly vote. Homosexuals as a group, they don't vote in the same numbers. It's black people that vote over 90% every election cycle for Democrats, and we get the least, unless it's something that the women can benefit from. So the men are like, well, why the fuck am I here? Let's go, because every man in every race is about money. The Democratic Party doesn't talk about money. They talk about welfare, food stamps, free house. They talk about social stuff, which is good for children, but grown people need money. Yeah, it makes sense? Republican Party, for all the foolishness, they believe in getting that money, and they also believe in showing their people the way and how to get that money. That's what it's about. So y'all quit talking about, what about morality? What about character? When the fuck did morality and character ever played a part in capitalism? Do y'all know we live in the United States? It is a capitalistic society. If you don't have any dollars, you don't make sense. You don't have dollars, you can't get change. It doesn't make any sense to be talking about some goddamn character and morality. When has morality and character ever played a part in American politics? God damn, but that's the foolishness that you hear from a lot of Democratic voters. What about his character? What about this? Nobody gives a shit. What about his policy? Policy over personality. And more men look at the policy, because black men understand that, damn, we're the ones that's catching the brunt of a lot of these Republican and Democratic parties. So a lot of black men in the practice of leaving the Democratic Party was still becoming more political. And it's about damn time. Whew. And look, I'm guilty of it too, because I hear a lot of guys, they still say it. It's not going to happen overnight, but it's happening now. It's not going to be complete overnight. Like, man, what the fuck? Voting it's no good. It doesn't help anybody. It's not going to bring reparations. It's not going to do this. Look, I was one of those persons too. They say, man, why? It's like it's a waste to vote. But then you see all these other groups and how they utilize their group power. And they know how to form a block to get the person they want in office. And that's what black men gonna have to start learning how to do. Get candidates who speak up for us, who will advocate for what our needs are. Got it? Because the black women have done it all the time. And hey, and I ain't knocking them. They decide to separate themselves from us and form their own political groups. Not all, but too many. Y'all know what I'm talking about. They side with everybody else other than with the needs of them and their family. Now they'll side with the needs of themselves. And if they got children, yes. But far as the men in their lives, nope. They don't. None of it. And so therefore, for me observing women in politics, I no longer vote for women. Because women don't have men's best interests in heart politically. All they care about is what women and girls can get. And it's a shame. It's a dirty game. But men need to wake up. Black men need to wake up to understand how politics work. But one thing about it, and I don't vote for a lot, and I certainly don't vote for Democratic men or women. Because even Democratic men don't put the interests of men at the top of the list. Because whenever you hear a Democratic man running for office, you know what he says? We have to fight for women's right to choose. The border. We have our democracy. They never mention anything about the welfare and the economic opportunities for men, and they're men. So I don't vote for men. I don't vote for Democratic men either. They act like the black chicks that raised them. I'm just telling y'all. You ain't got to like the goddamn truth. I guess you want to hear it coming from me, but maybe somebody that you like or said, and I don't mind him or her repeating what I said. And so, hopefully this year, this sorry-ass Democratic Party will get themselves together for the sake of those who still want to fool with them. And I hope black people, especially black women, more and more black women, they're waking up, but not enough. And a lot more black men. Shout out to social media, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Rumble, all of these platforms that were not available to us. You know, that's where we got our voice. That's where we got our voice. Because we didn't have a voice in mainstream media, but they made sure women were heard. So I appreciate social media. We wrote back in the day, we wrote articles and stuff, but we didn't get a chance to write an article for Time Magazine or Washington Post or New York Times, New York Post, Washington. No, in the major newspapers where your stuff automatically gets shared. Nah, they wouldn't, unless now they'll give a black man some space in those newspapers if he's demeaning black men. Mm-hmm. If he's accusing black men of being misogynistic or egotistical or homophobic, yeah, they'll let a black dude get all in the New York Post, New York Times, Washington Post, and what else? All these other famous LA Times. They'll let a black man get on there. But if he's talking like me, talking like Minister Farrakhan, talk the way like Malcolm spoke, nah, you don't get that kind of press. So I'm glad social media is here for all of our voices. They're varying, they're diverse, but all of our voices can be heard. And so, and a lot of people don't like it. And one thing about it, the Democratic Party don't like that. A lot of men are listening. We're listening to each other. This is the way we've been able to connect to one another. And I want us to begin to connect with each other outside of social media. And let's go ahead and get this thing started, because we need to get our piece of this political as well as this political, economic, and American pie. So the Democrat Party, let me tell y'all something. You can't use fear tactics anymore. Fear mongering only works on old black people. And it works on old black women, old black men, and it works on women. Ooh, that Project 2025. You know, this year, let me let y'all know how they use it. Okay. Y'all better watch the Republicans. They're gonna take your rights away. They're gonna what are they gonna say? Dismantle your voting rights. That's one of them that they use every year. And when Trump was running, oh my God, he's a racist, he's a racist, he's a racist, he's a racist. He Proud Boys, he's a racist, he's a racist. As if Joe Biden is the most racist man in America. Since George Wallace, look it up. Since George Stennis, look it up. Since Robert Byrd, look it up. Since what's that old fool that was in the Senate from South Carolina? That old bastard had descendants from South Carolina, old white man. Who are all friends of Joe Biden. Went to their funeral and called him a great man. And a great mentor. But it's interesting, they can only see the racism in Republican men, but they don't notice any racism in the white Democratic men. It is amazing. It is amazing. It is amazing. And again, I'm just on the outside looking in as an independent. And so they can't use those tactics. So when he ran in 2016, he's a racist, all of a sudden. But wait a minute, we never heard any of these things about Trump until he ran for president. And then in 2020, when he ran, he's a racist, blah, 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 blah. I said, it is amazing. It is amazing. It is amazing that they only notice racism in one party. It's amazing. And so that's why I can't take people seriously. You can ask weird ass questions you want to. It's still, and people can vote for who they want to. And so now y'all know what the thing is. Now they want to tell blacks Project 2025 is always some fear-mongering tactic. They do that, and see, this is what really upsets me. Okay, you can tell all that, the fear-mongering stuff, that's fine, but how come you always use Democratic Party and those who vote Democrat? How come y'all always use fear tactics and replace, or as opposed to doing actual tangibles, giving tangibles? What policies have you passed that benefited black people? Where's our anti-lynching, George Floyd anti-lynching bill? Where is, the George Floyd anti-hate crime, anti-black hate crime bill? You know, the same crime bill, the same law you gave for Asians and LGBT? Where the hell is ours? The numbers show that we're the most targeted group in this country by government officials, police, otherwise. Not no goddamn Asians, not no goddamn LGBT. Black people, for 400 years, number one targeted. But still, the people who are supposed to be for the party of black folks don't even worry about it. I'm not even gonna mention reparations. That's too easy to mention. Where the hell are the economic packages in these black neighborhoods? Where are they? In these white Republican neighborhoods, yeah, and a lot of you blacks is right here, Cape Hats, you little lying, two-faced sons of bitches. Y'all live in white suburbs with your kids, go to these beautiful schools and these crimeless or minimal crime areas. You got all the amenities, all the Krogers, the Walmarts, the Macy's, you got all the malls. You live in these mainly white suburbs that are Republican represented. So shut the fuck up about asking me any questions about Republicans. Because you a two-faced son of a bitch. You go home, you sleep Republican, but you come out and talk Democrat when you go back to the black neighborhoods, you lying bastard. So shut the fuck up, asking me anything about no goddamn Republicans. Where you go home, pay your taxes in that white suburb, you send your kids to the majority white schools, your black kids to them, and you send your black kids to these majority white colleges that are Republican, conservative, funded. So shut the fuck up about asking me some comparing contrasts. And y'all are the biggest two-faced fucking black Democrats I've ever witnessed. So shut the fuck. Okay, yeah. So that's another thing I want to talk about. So check out to my next video. I want to talk about these blacks who sleep Democrat, sleep Republican, and talk Democrat. I'm going to end the video right here because y'all done got me started tonight. It's your man Rico. Rico the Opinionist. Please hit my Cash App. Fool with me if you cool with me. Rated J, historic DJ out of Memphis, Tennessee. Hey, and my PayPal too, all right? I'll talk to y'all later. Peace. Oh, wait a minute. Here, let me do it again.